Wow. An ever-loving reality blossom out of some of the most awful places. Yeah, and some of the dullest faces becoming the brightest, man. As people finally get it, start to learn to lighten up, take it easy, stand on the corner and just wait, man. 7 women on your mind, and here comes number 8, and it's never too late. Enjoy yourself in this life, in other words. Let yourself slow down enough to experience the reality of your truthful being, your presence, your contented presence in this creation. Now, this is a vision, a dream we've got to share with others, of course, but by automatically stepping into it, you do. I'm here today to help us focus our energy in a slightly different way. Over on Dream Central, I've got a little dream up there that says a peaceful end to the conflict in Oregon at the present time. You see, the government's been out of hand. They've got the makings of another Waco up there in eastern Oregon, of all places. This is divine territory, and it should never be disrespected in this way. I understand. I saw a little flash this morning. I wasn't able to investigate it, but some kind of shootout had occurred already. And somebody had been shot dead, and others were in jail now and stuff. I don't know how resolved or unresolved the situation is. It sounds kind of hairy to me. Kind of conflicting reports. So let's just see. Let's help these beings become the presence of the love that we feel in our own heart right now. Let's end the resistance all the way throughout life. It ain't the FBI and the federal government against the people. It ain't the people against the outrageous, outlandish, materialistic empire we call the federal government. Tyranny reigns there. That's the name of the game there. We can love them right out of it, babies. See, they don't have to be a part of that larger heart that says destroy, kill, control, contain. The people are rebellious. We got to crack the whip and make them fall into line. Kill a few of them, the rest of them will fall into place. Fear, fear, fear. They're trying to develop into an armed conflict. We can't allow that, dear. We don't want to dream it that way anymore. Let's end this thing. Let's make this the beginning of the end. The arousal of a compassionate government that only wants to dispense with its own presence in this reality. Get it over with and get out of the people's way. While we're at it, we're going to end these divisions we call property, etc. We're learning to live in a new way. As I explained earlier on the Coyote Medicine Show here on the Hazy Radio Network with Grandpaw Coyote, your buddy, taking your hand and leading you into the promised land, along with Mary J., who leads me along the way. Without her, we'd have nothing, man. So we're going to send our energy up there to Oregon. We're going to make it the promised land, where everything begins, where we dissolve away the divisions. Because there's a heightened sense of division there. Everybody has their own idea about it, and everybody has their own little aspect they're looking at it through, and it's all divided. Let's make it a united effort of the heart. There'll be conciliation all the way around. Reconciliation with the land, most importantly. We ain't selling it short for uranium or gold or diamonds or volcanic ash or whatever the hell it is we thought we wanted out there in the middle of nowhere. We're going to let that land stay wild and free, and the people on it too. Everybody's blessed. And nobody has to dominate anything or anyone. See, so we let them realize the blessing of their own empowerment. We let the federal government, the federal agents that represent that government, that have come there to create mayhem and death if they can, to find a turnaround in their heart and soul. Because the larger community around them begins to dream the dream of life, loving itself into peaceful means and peaceful places, and into all sense of division. And this is held now in the local crowd. You see, you got to understand the governments in Oregon, for the most part, and the county levels and so forth, pretty damn corrupt all across the state. Money has carved out kind of an evil empire in the land of paradise. There's kind of a mafiosi. It's not Italian, but there's kind of a money mafiosi there that kind of rules the roost in that Oregon territory kind of quietly. And this one gentleman, I forget, he's called Grasshead or something like that, I can't remember his name, seems to hold the center of that dark union in this reality, and he's a particularly demonic presence there that's really trying to stir up a war because it would benefit him in some way. Who knows, perverted as that may sound. So let's help that man find some ground. Let's right now throw a little love in his way, a little sweet energy that says, hey baby, relax, take it easy. You don't have to rule the roost, you know, you got enough. Give it back now. Let it go. You don't have to control it. That's insanity, don't you see? This need to be in control because you don't feel like you are. Don't you see yourself sitting at the center of the universe, Mr. Grasshead? Hey, that's an appropriate name, too, for you, man. Maybe you should toke on this Mary J. Let's take a little toke for him and help him expand and grow. You know, the sacred herb is the medicine of the heart. Whether you know it or not, whether you practice that way or not, it is the sacred herb of the heart. The expansive cosmic heart, the consciousness that goes with it. It's an allowance for the presence of a larger person in yourself. Now soften it up like Mr. Grasshead is getting right now. And here we go, Mr. Grasshead. This is for you and all your cohorts out there, the federales too, man. Love bunnies, everyone. And if somebody's died out there already, been shot down, let's bring them back to life. Show them how it's done. Let's unwind the time and just undo that. Shall we? Why not, man? While we're working on Mr. Grassy and let Mary Jane have her way. Do you feel that influence? Do you feel that increase in the amplification of the wave of conscious awareness of love? See, we not only want a peaceful settlement to that stupid situation up there. I mean, talk about a bunch of puppets and players and a rigged everything, man. Gee whiz, can't get much worse than that, can it? On both sides of the fence, there doesn't seem to be any neutral party. Well, any parties that knew what neutrality might have been at some point. You see, it's about ending the fracture and the division in our reality. And this has come up like a little boil on Mother Earth's skin, you know, and it's festering and pussy and nasty and mean in its expression, you know, hurts like crazy, you know. So we're either going to go to war with that, we're going to let it fractionalize us? Yeah, no way. We can't dream it that way anymore. We can only dream it this way. The reason why all these fractured energies have been brought to this magical environment, and you got to believe Eastern Oregon, anywhere there, is a very, very high vibe. It's like living right next door to paradise because it's disguised area. It's colder than hell and windy and, you know, wild country, man. But, oh, my God. The energy of love reigns there. It's like living inside the northern lights or something. Yeah. It's like present in a grand wave of love, always. And not everyone that lives there is consciously present in it, yet all are affected and influenced by that high energy. You see? So we just take hold of what's naturally there already. We honor and acknowledge the sacred nature of the lands they're dealing with there. Of the urgent need of the earth to be free of all restrictions that's placed upon her, whether it's by a rancher or a federale or some other idiot passing through, whatever it is. Mother Earth needs her heart back. She needs her land back. She needs her soul presence back. And in exchange for that, she rewards all that are present there with their place in it naturally. And everything just flows together. We don't have great big ranches and divisions called wildlife preserves or anything. We're just all together in a union with that wildlife, that high life, the life that enjoys itself and only wants to be wild and free in its own creation so it can experience the most of it. It does not want to isolate itself in cities that are so harsh and cold and run on something called money. What the hell is that, man? It has nothing to do with reality. Nature rules. And in nature we find our solution. We can live with the creation that we are. And there's not a more magic place than that country around Burns, Oregon, to go and experience the high presence of nature. This is some wild and ruggedy and magic country. You will see beings and presences and things in the sky, etc. You will have magic moments. Maybe some terrifying ones too, because there's a little danger out there. If you're not, properly equipped in the loving realm, well, sometimes you might even let it slip in just because you need to touch somebody else. But there is a little bit of element of that. Mr. Grasshead kind of represents that violent side. They accept the violence as part of their way, part of their nature, see. I know I was raised in a similarly violent environment when it comes to that, as far as weaponry and, an absolute black and white look at things, a warlike attitude in everything. We're right, you just get out of the way or we'll kill you, man. That was a prevailing attitude coming out of World War II when I was a child, believe me. And it's something that's moaned and festered and groaned and, beat up on itself, but it's come through this reality in several different incidents. It's amazing we haven't devolved into civil war with our own government here yet. It really is, to my heart. It's amazing that, so far we've been able to avoid a bloodbath up there in Oregon. But that's the reason. See, they came to the right lands. They were drawn, all these hearts, those seeking freedom, those seeking tyranny, and everyone in between, all these hearts were drawn here. It's part of a cosmic play of a much larger scale. Now, with our cosmic energy, we see these hearts gathered for the purpose of resolution of some old difficulties. And in a sense, it's like a dying away of the whole old world based on the dollar and the gold and all the shit that goes with it. And an acceptance of our natural way in life, where we don't have to provoke disharmony in order to provide for ourselves or for anyone else in the land quite naturally, because you indulge one another, because you embrace one another as fellow human beings and hearts in motion. Then this land around you rises up and creates, according to your needs, that which you appear to require. You see, in everyone's desire, the need for the wildlife to be free, the need for the rancher and his family to have their little hole, their little hubby hole in the wilderness, etc. The need for the city folks to have control over everything. Well, that's not real. That's not a need. That's a dying of an unjust way. An unjust way. We never needed authoritarian dickheads ever to control and rule over us. But because we've allowed it so long, it takes its natural path of progression, which is digression, every time. We've seen this throughout human experience again and again. Even in recent time, 2,000 years ago, less than that, man. There's just collapses all over, but worldwide ones at times, because it gets to that point. It becomes a great big old dinosaur again, and can't contain or control itself. It's way too big for its reality. And eventually it falls over. It's top heavy, and eventually it falls over and can't get back up. It's over-gluttonized itself. It's ruined it for itself and destroyed its environment. See, that's human history. That's the nature of what we call government, the authoritarian, dick-headed way, where we have to have a rule of some authority in order to live with ourselves. That's bullshit. It's division, and divisionary, it's divide and conquer, and it's been practiced on humanity for ages and generations now. In the 3D. But the reality, of course, beyond that, people could believe the freedom of America, the dream of America, because they truthfully were free. They just had to have a place to acknowledge that. And of course the slave masters just wanted you to live in an illusion for a while, so you'd overdevelop and go and find all the minerals and shit they were after here. Conquer the continent for them, more or less, Take away all its magic and hide it in the caves in Europe or something. Who knows what the hell the real plan is? It doesn't matter at this stage of the game, because that kind of skullduggery is over with. It's died a practical death, and you see the evidence of it all around you. And this thing in Oregon is part of that. So it's time, as part of our progression as human beings, to step up to the plate and be a heart and show that we care about one another. And we're not so callous as to go around killing each other over abject ideas about who owns and controls the land, or how bad we can rape it, etc. See, this old lust that so compelled us in these harsh directions, this meanness to our Mother Earth, this hatred of her nature, that wanted to abuse and destroy it all. And that's what the land grab's all about out there in eastern Oregon. The feds want all the mineral wealth there. Oh man, it's crazy. I know. Our own government has become a corporation that develops land and makes tons of money off of it by raping the shit out of it. Another place we need to pay attention to, and real soon we will, is like northeastern Wyoming and the South Dakota, western South Dakota territory, a little bit of Montana there. A lot of Montana there. There's some really awful, ugly shit going on up there too. You guys got to know about and put some energy toward too. So we just send a little love that way right now. But mainly our focus right now is this place around Burns, Oregon, where craziness is about to occur. Let's undo that. Let's see what we've done there with the heart. Let's see these people gathered. You know, unbeknownst to themselves perhaps, to this magical high place, these high prairies of love, for the purpose of experiencing the reunion of humanity with some of its higher presences and cousins, uncles, and aunts that reside in what we see of as the sky. Some in the earth where they can't be seen, but mostly from the sky. Let's reunite. Let's take this situation beyond this paradigm right now and make it a reunion of the heart. You gathered just the right hearts there, though they may seem in great opposition to one another. Boom! Opening of the heart, and there's the family surrounding you. You're living in a higher way. You're living in tune with the real nature, the love in the life. You're surrounded by E.T. presences. Maybe a few angelic ones. Yeah, you better not look too hard, because you might just see what's real. You know, that might be the beginning of something really sweet. If we just keep dreaming it that way. That's how Dream Central works. You tune into this page, you tune into this program, we experience a moment with others, and then the dream continues to build from there. See, this is how we're it's kind of like Dick and Jane time now. See Dick run, etc. You know, see Dick run after Jane, poor girl. Craziness, man. In other words, we're learning how to read our own environment, how to be a part of the living novel of life that we're living ourselves, as well as all those around us. We're each a central character, every one of us, divinely so. So let's just help these presences in that dynamic where there's going to be a violent war erupt if we don't. Let's just help them come back to life. Let's devolve the situation and resolve the situation by letting them see nothing but love, pure love in motion. Nobody can maintain their sense of division in the presence of Burns, Oregon, and that environment around it anymore. The land rises up in its high heart and says, I give my people this new start. Because I'm tired of their bullshit too. It's time for us to get together and party and play like the little children in the fields of life that we are. Given in a high prairie, ooh, that desolate place. What a thing to fight over, but I can see why you would. Because there's a lot of treasure there, and it goes way beyond mineral wealth. It's a wealth that brings health to your heart. A reactive recovery that ain't reactive, it's unreactive. See, we're done with the reaction. And the action that makes the reaction. It's not a neutrality either. It's a totality. An experience of living as one presence in creation with all of creation. It's not that big of a step, folks. It really isn't. It's pretty simple when it comes right down to it. And if we can get these children of love up there in that Oregon area, that eastern Oregon area, to settle down, relax, take it easy, accommodate one another, the magic happens. The land is pure in its feeling, and it's feeling its life again, because we're allowing it to. We no longer want to restrict or contain her, this Mother Earth, in any way. We want to be a part of her in every way. Because that's what we are anyway. A replication of her mother love given in this divine form of a human being. The most creative little instrumental things that were ever designed by this universe, let me tell you. We harbor the heart at the center of it, babies. We are creation. We can be artistic as we want to be. So we can add a little poetry and a little bit of drama up there if you want to, but let's just make it expansive and smooth and uniform. Let's get the drama out of the way and all the idiots that go with it. Because, man, it's drawing a bunch of fanatics to it. So the fanaticism, man, goes out the window as you approach this town, whether on foot, by air, by boat, plane, whatever, man. It don't matter. Even in a UFO. You're going to feel the presence of this divine intelligence, awake and aware of itself in its presence upon that land and the people that are there. There's a unity feeling now. Weapons are falling into disrepair, becoming non-functional. The tanks, the rifles, everything. Even the El Pistolios, man. As fond as we are out west here of our little 6 guns, man. Oh, what a bunch of klutzo heads we've been, baby. But it's okay. You know, we believe the television a little too much. You know, believed our own lies about our legends. Yeah, right. Legends die when the people get high. And that's what we're sharing here with the residents and the out-of-towners over there in Burns, Oregon. And we're bringing some resolution to the residential heart in that particular place in this reality of part of the demonstration of our heart of love and how greatly we desire to see a real return to peace on this planet. We've had enough of the harsh shit. We're done with you dickheads that want to fight all the time. You know, and we're not encouraging you to go play on the freeway and destroy yourself either. We're saying, wake up. This is the time, this is the place, and these are the energies of love manipulating you into a place where such resolution is now possible. You thought you were the sneaky, skullduggerous one. You forgot that love is a constant flow that can't be stopped. Don't you know who calling the hearts forward today in that coyote sort of way here on that Coyote Medicine Show? It's a wake-up call, and so much more. Don't ya know, I tell you, on the Hazy Radio Network. The heart of the universe as far as you're concerned, eh?